Hey guys, welcome back to another Talia Rae Vlogs video. It is Super Bowl Sunday here, and as you know, I live in the Twin Cities here, and the Super Bowl is being held here this year, so it has been kind of crazy. Nate and I decided to host some friends over because we don't live super close to Minneapolis, so we just kind of wanted to avoid downtown and all the craziness and just have a really fun night with our friends. I thought I would get a quick video in today to make up for not posting last week, so you'll get 2 videos this week. This video is going to be a book review. Like I said, I was going to start doing these more frequently. I am part of a book club as well as reading on my own, so I'm just going to kind of review the books that I go through that are part of the book club, and they're my own personal reading as well. So I think that this is my second book review that I'm posting. This video is going to be a review of The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. For those of you who don't know, The Rules of Magic is a prequel to the movie and book Practical Magic, which is pretty popular. This was our October-November book, so at the time it really did make sense because it doesn't really quite make sense for this time of year. But we had a really fun time reading the book. As a nod to the Halloween spirit, I decided to go a little vampy with my makeup today. So how this video is going to be set up is I will do a quick review of what kind of the book is about without really doing any spoilers at all, and then I will do a huge spoiler alert here for you guys when I delve into my own thoughts of the book. So if you guys are looking about kind of what the book is about, you can just stop right there if you're thinking about reading it. But if you have read it or just looking at other people's opinions as well, I will also do that towards the end of the video. So to start the review, The Rules of Magic is a prequel to the 1998 movie Practical Magic, starring Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. This is based on the book Practical Magic, which is also written by Alice Hoffman, released in 1995. The Rules of Magic is about the Owens family in 1960s New York. It follows 3 siblings, Franny the oldest, Jet, the middle child, who is also a girl, and then Vincent, who is the youngest and the only boy in the family. The family had a curse spread upon them by Maria Owens in the 1600s, who is one of their ancestors. The curse says that they can't fall in love with anybody because Maria Owens had had her heart broken. The story follows the siblings throughout their lives as they find themselves, learn about their magic and ancestry, and also try to break the curse so that they can also find true love at some point in their lives. So that is the basic summary, so I'll put a huge spoiler alert right here as I delve into my own thoughts about the book. To start off, I'm going to say that I actually really liked this book. I found it really interesting to read. Whenever I had to put it down, I always wanted to continue reading, which also, of course, made me want to come back to it right away whenever I had time. I feel like there are 2 types of books that are really worthwhile in reading. Either books that are extremely enjoyable, they make you think about them, they make you really want to delve into them and come right back whenever you have to put them down, just those books that you really want to read. And then there are the books that really kind of further yourself as a person and make you learn more about the world or other cultures, or just really make you think and expand your own knowledge. This is obviously a book based on fiction, so I wouldn't necessarily say that this falls in the second category at all. Maybe a little bit with like relationships and love and stuff, but mostly this is just a book that is kind of interesting, especially around the Halloween period as you get into the mood and everything. And like I said, it was a good and interesting read overall. I found that Alice Hoffman used really relatable language. It made it really easy to read and really easy to follow the story in general. The book takes place it kind of like delves a little bit into Maria Owens' history, and then it starts when the siblings are pretty young. I think like Franny's like 12 when it starts, somewhere around there, and then goes basically their entire lives, like until like Franny's gonna like die, like their entire lives. It follows Franny the oldest for the most part. You get glimpses into like Jed's life and Vincent's life and like what they're thinking and feeling, but for the most part it's all about Franny and then just her perspective of her siblings or her life or her family as she lives her life. Because this book had such a large time span that it was trying to fit into a book that is, like 366 pages, it was kind of hard to connect with the characters. One reason being because the way Alice Hoffman wrote it, she didn't really like tell us their ages very much. You kind of just had to guess from context. Like all of a sudden you could tell that like they had aged like 3 or 4 years, that all of a sudden she went from being like 15 to like 18 to like 22 to like in her 40s. Like it just kind of like jumped to different points of her life as her and her siblings got older. But there really wasn't any like warning of this. Like I said, it follows Franny, who is the oldest, but unfortunately she was like my least favorite out of all the siblings. So it made me really hard to connect to her, and even though it was mostly from her perspective and stuff, I didn't really connect to her at all. Whenever we did learn anything about Jet, I really enjoyed it. I really liked Jet's character, but unfortunately we just didn't really delve into her very much, even though she had what I felt was the most prominent love story in the book. And then there was Vincent, who was kind of like an afterthought. We rarely learned anything about Vincent, but the stuff I did learn about him, I really, really enjoyed. And I really think that if I had been able to learn more about him, he would have been my favorite sibling to watch. He just had a really interesting life and took a lot of chances in his life at different periods, especially in his adolescent years, and then again after he falls in love. His life was also shrouded in a lot of mystery though, which is probably why I found him so intriguing. Maybe if I had learned more about him and some of the mystery was solved, I wouldn't have liked him as much. But like I said, from the stuff I did read, I do think that he was my favorite out of all the siblings. The last thing I just kind of want to bring up was just a really interesting thing I took away from the book. For a good portion of the book, the siblings stay with their aunt, who is like a firm believer in the magic and really teaches them a lot about what their abilities can do and just about their ancestors and everything else in general. She was a really interesting character, and she run what was basically an apothecary. It was right out of her house, and people would come and give her like trades. So they would come and give her like jewelry or like just really interesting objects or kind of whatever she would ask them for, and then in return she would give them a potion for like a love spell or for beauty or youth or to cure an illness of some kind. Later on in the book, towards the end, the girls actually take over their aunt's business and run it themselves. I found all of that like super fascinating, and I love the idea of home remedies to cure certain things, whether it be for your mind, body, or soul, whether it be the use of something like lavender or aloe or chamomile or anything like that. I just find it really, really interesting, and it really made me want to learn more about it after reading the book. I do think I'm going to do my own research and look into aromatherapy sort of things, or like natural remedies. Like I know that like using like actual aloe plants to like help with like cuts or burns are really good. I would love to do my own research and start using that type of stuff in my daily life instead of going for like the drug route if it's possible. So just as a quick wrap up, just wanted to say that, again, I really enjoyed the book. I think that anybody who is looking for a fun book to read, especially around the Halloween season, this is a great one to go check out. I think that maybe next Halloween I'll read Practical Magic, since I haven't read that one yet. It was a really interesting story, and I think Practical Magic would be a really interesting story read as well, especially after reading the prequel. Otherwise, that is my book review for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did like this video, I would appreciate if you would hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what your favorite book is or what you're reading right now down in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye!